Hey everybody, it's Andy, a cloudy milder, your self-proclaimed metal mogul. Let me start by wishing everybody a very happy new year. First day of 2022, hottest day of the year in Edinburgh, and we've actually got some sunshine, which we never get this time of the year. It's a beautiful day out there. So why am I stuck in here making a video? Well, I don't know about you, but I've been waiting all year for Scott, the Rock Scout, to release his Metal Tag 2022, and he just dropped his video, and I want to jump straight on this. 20 great questions. So Scott kind of started his metal tag last year, and I was really hoping he would follow it up this year and maybe make it an annual event, and he hasn't disappointed. Some great questions in there, some that made me think for a few minutes as to what I would show today. So this is different from the generic vinyl tag that goes around. This isn't vinyl, and this is a music oriented metal tag. The questions aren't specifically about metal, but the idea is that the metalheads in the music community show off stuff from their collection and use these questions as the source to decide what to pick. So I'm going to jump straight in. Question 1. Your favourite reissue of 2021? That was easy for me. An album I didn't think I would be getting in my collection at all, and that's Forbidden Evil by Forbidden. And I didn't even think I would get the reissue because it wasn't readily available in the UK, but Darcy of Six Strings, Nine Lives didn't let me down with this as a gift last month or so. So that was incredible. Question 2. A band you discovered, old or new, in 2021? Well, for me, they're a fairly new band, but I think they've got a few albums out already. But I discovered Bewitcher. Sorry, the lights are very good because it's so sunny today behind me. Bewitcher and Cursed Be Thy Kingdom, 2021 release. Fantastic sort of speed metal. The vocals are, I've been calling them blackened, but it's kind of Lemmy with a bit of a sore throat. But excellent album. Question 3. Show an album with an outstanding vocal performance. Now, this doesn't have to be from 2021, I presume, but a vocalist that's really gone up in my estimation over the last few years is Doogie White. And when I first heard Temple of Rock, Spirit of Emission, so this is Michael Schenker's Temple of Rock. This was released in 2015, and Doogie White was the vocalist on it, and he has become my favourite vocalist that has worked with Michael Schenker. It used to be Gary Barden. Let's see if that would be better without the glare. It used to be Gary Barden, but now Doogie White has eclipsed that. I saw Doogie White is now with Alcatraz. He replaced Graham Bonnet recently last year, and I saw them live a few weeks back along with Girl School, and Doogie was just, his vocals were absolutely spot on. So Doogie White is my pick for outstanding vocal performance. Question 4. Show a gap filler. An easy pick for me. Raven, The Pack is Back. I'm pretty much a completist with Raven, certainly in the 80s, so I really had to have this one in the collection, but it's not what I play. It is awful. It is the album that they released after signing to Atlantic, their first big label outing, and they weren't allowed to be the band that was signed. They tried to make them into more of a commercial effort, and it failed miserably, but Raven did bounce back after that, which is fantastic news. Question 5. Show a cheap pickup from 2021. Well, I've kind of gone for value over necessarily cheapness. I did pick up a few albums a little bit cheaper than this, but I managed to score a copy of Terminal Earth by Scanner on eBay for under £8. This album goes for upwards of 20 for the condition it's in on Discogs. So I thought that was a fantastic score in 2021, probably my best bargain buy. And another question isn't bargain buy, but I consider this a cheap pickup. German sort of power metal from the 80s, fantastic stuff. Show your favourite artwork from a new release. Now I'm going to show a CD on this one, so it's going to be a little more difficult to see, especially with the glare and the fact that the CD is still sealed. But this is Seven Sisters, Shadow of a Fallen Star, Part 1. And you'll get a better look of this when the vinyl arrives. The vinyl's due around the middle of April, but it's absolutely stunning sci-fi inspired artwork, and yeah, can't wait to get that on vinyl properly, and I'll show it off then so you'll get a better look. Question 7, a favourite track from 2021. That was an easy pick for me as well. My favourite track comes from At One With None, Portraits release from last year, and the track is the 5th track, Ashen. It's just a phenomenal song. Has some pace to it, power, energy, catchy lyrics, catchy chorus. Yeah, fantastic song. Favourite song of the year. Ashen by Portrait. An Earworm, I think it's that. Yeah, a song that became an earworm. Now this earworm for me wasn't necessarily because it was a great song. So Senjutsu had to try and show a maiden album in here somewhere. Lost in a Lost World is one of the weakest songs for me on this album. I find it plodding and repetitive, but the chorus, Lost in a Lost World, constantly pops into my head, and I find myself singing it when I least expect it, or realise, what is that I'm singing? Oh, it's Lost in a Lost World by Iron Maiden. So that's my earworm. Question 9, 2 albums destined to be culled from my collection. Now I am going through the process of curating my collection and really looking at albums that I've just picked up because they were there when I used to do big vinyl hauls every week just because things were cheap. But I'm really short of space, so I realised that I have to make some sometimes, well, not even difficult decisions. If it's a difficult decision, then I'm going to keep the album in my collection, I think. But there are some easy decisions to be made. Now, I could easily pick up probably about 20 albums that I'm planning on getting rid of in the next few months. But I picked up 2 of probably the bigger name bands, just not to be controversial, but it'll be ones that you heard of at least. First one is White Lion and Pride. I just find them a bit bland and uninteresting, and I've never ever got into. I've got a couple of White Line albums, and they'll probably both be going at some point. And Poison as well. Open Up and Say Ah. Yeah, it's an album that I don't get on at all. It's a style of music that I don't particularly like. I got this this one and their first album as well in a deal, so it was super cheap that I got it, and one of the albums I will no doubt make a profit on to sell and reinvest in my collection with something I will play. Okay, question 10, a band you have gone off. Now, Scott described this as a band that you didn't necessarily hate, but a band that you maybe listened to in the past and now you don't listen to as much, or but you may well come back to them. And this is a band definitely that fits that category for me, and it's Death Angel. What the sort of the moment that I realised I was going off Death Angel was when myself and the Contacting Blood guys did our thrash metal sophomore releases ranking live stream, and I played this, and this was an album I would have said would have been fairly high up on that list for me, but when I played it, it just didn't grip me anymore. And then I thought about some of the recent Death Angel albums, the newer ones that have come out. They didn't do a lot for me. Act 3 doesn't do a lot for me. And I know that's a lot of people's favourite Death Angel albums. I will still play Ultraviolence. I will still play The Evil Divide. But for now, Death Angel have taken a little bit of a hiatus from spinning on in my rotation for music that I listen to. But I will no doubt come back to them because I did used to really, really like that album a lot. Question 11, a 90s album. 90s was difficult for a lot of bands. For one band that didn't really sort of make it, and it was the wrong genre really. This is a thrash metal band I'm going to show you. It's a UK thrash metal band, so not only were they late to the party, UK thrash just didn't get any love at all really. But I am going for Balance of Power by Arbitrator. This is the dive bomb sort of. It's got Balance of Power and Dark and Reality, which I think Balance of Power was 90, Dark and Reality was 91 or 92, something along those lines. But Balance of Power is a fantastic thrash album and one that everybody should hear. In fact, I am going to, once I get my 80s collection flick through videos done and dusted, I'm determined to get to the end of that series. I'm going to do a UK thrash metal collection series, a little like Mark G with a C did recently. A little bit of overlap I've had with him, but I've definitely got some that he hasn't shown. So I think between us we'll be able to form a good overview of the UK thrash metal scene. But that's my tip for a 90s album to check out. Arbitrator, Balance of Power. Question 12. Show a 7-inch single or name a single that sold an album to you. Or I'm going to go back to the beginning. And if you are a long-time viewer of my channel, you know all about this single. Or specifically this single. I've got 2 copies of it. The one with the number 2 that I wrote, my 14, 15-year-old self wrote in the top corner there. The Trooper was the single that did it for me. When I heard it on the radio, I had to know more about this band and this style of music. So not only did this single sell an album to me, which is obviously peace of mind at the time, it also sold a whole genre and a new... well, genre is a new style of music, isn't it? It's still early, what can I say? But The Trooper is my 7-inch single. Question 13, name an epic song of 8 minutes or more. Being an Iron Maiden fan, that's almost too easy. So I have gone with a Halloween song, and specifically the song from Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 2, and the title track, Keeper of the Seven Keys. Written by Michael Vikath. It's about 13 minutes long, and that is an epic heavy metal song. It ebbs and flows, it has its highs, it has its quieter moments, and it keeps you gripped all the way through. So definitely a great epic 8-minute plus song that's worth a spin if you haven't heard that one. Question 14, a quick opinion on RSD. I am not I'm not a fan of RSD. I suppose that would be a supporter. I'm not a fan of RSD at all. I think it has become a little bit of a monster. I know the idea of it was sound, and it was initially set up to support local record stores, and it probably did a good job doing that. But now I feel it's kind of gone the way of the whole Black Friday thing. Black Friday used to be one day of a week, and now you get Black Friday week, you get some people doing Black Friday month, and now Record Store Day has become not once a year, it's twice, 3 times, who knows, maybe more in future. Maybe they'll have a Record Store week coming in later. And I look at the listings of things that come out, and there's a lot of things I think people don't need, but when they see them, they want them. A lot of reissues of previous totally done reissues, a lot of albums that were bootlegs that have been relisted, and I can't help thinking that with a lot of bands, current bands, not bands that are long dead, which Record Store Day to me seems to concentrate on a lot, but a lot of new bands who are trying to make a living and getting their music out on vinyl are being pushed aside to make sure that the labels get their record store day issues pressed and out into the shops. The Seven Sisters is a prime example of that. The album came out in October last year, and I'm having to wait till April, May for the vinyl release. And I can't help think that RSD is partly responsible for that, with the amount of vinyl that they have to push out to the shops on a particular day. I could rant about that the whole time, but I'm not going to do that now or in another video. I'll just make bitter, snidey comments as each record store day passes, as I get more bitter and old. Anyway, let's move on. Question 15. What part of your music setup would you change? You can kind of see my music setup here. I like my amp. I'm in a really small room, so I don't need a super powerful amp or super big speakers. So the speakers that I've had these speakers for about 20 years now. The amp I've had for about 4 or 5 years now. I'm happy with that. I would always, if I could get a better turntable, I would. But my turntable is a Reloop RP1000 Mark III. It's kind of like an Audio-Technica clone. I upgraded the stylus to an Ortofon Red. And I'm happy with the sound on that. I'll probably upgrade the CD player to one that could handle CDRs. It tends to bulk on CDRs at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, because a lot of new bands that are picking stuff up on Bandcamp are sort of self-releasing albums right now, and it would be good to play them on that thing. So I would probably say I would get a better CD player. Question 16. Biggest musical disappointment of 2021. For me, it was the lack of live shows to go to. Prior to COVID, I was going to at least 20 shows a year, maybe more. A lot of small local shows and a few sort of bigger venue ones chucked into the mix as well. And that was kind of my social thing, to go out there. I've got to meet people just from going to the same venues, and I know if I go to a show, there are certain people that I will see there and have a beer and a chat with, and I've really missed that. I went to a couple of shows last year, but not nearly as many as I would normally do. So yeah, my biggest disappointment was live music didn't get back to normal in 2021. Question 17. Name an album you're expecting and looking forward to in 2022. Now, I don't know if this is going to happen, but it's 6 years now since Anthrax released an album, and from what I've heard, they've got something in the works, but they're not in a rush to release it. I've no idea what it's going to be called. I've no idea if it's actually going to be released this year, but it would, if they do decide to put something out this year, it will certainly be the one I'm anticipating the most, and will jump on any pre-order as and when it comes up, because one of my favourite bands, and the last couple of albums have been superb. For All Kings and Worship Music, fantastic. They've avoided trying to sound like every other thrash metal band out there with the same production, and I think they're still capable of putting out some fantastic new music. So I really want to see an Anthrax album in 2022. Where are we up to now? So that was question 17. Question 18. Who would you like to see release a solo album? Now, this is probably the question I struggle with the most, and is probably going to be the lamest answer I'm going to come up with, because I like bands. I like bands the way they are, and don't necessarily look at individual members and say, yeah, I would love it if they put a solo album out. I mean, last year, okay, not a solo album, Smith Kotzen, I wasn't fussed about that at all. I didn't invest much time in checking them out, but eventually I did, and I liked it. I picked it up, and it was a great album. But I'm gonna do a lame ass answer and say, if Bruce Dickinson released a solo album next year, I would buy it. I know a lot of people are saying that he is well past it now, but he is one of the few people that has released solo material from a favourite band of mine that I have actually enjoyed. So, he has a good producer behind him. He could still sound great, I think. Question 19, nearly there. Show a placeholder album you would rebuy in better condition. Another easy one for me. So my copy of Violence Eternal Nightmare is not in great shape. In fact, I don't even keep the record in the sleeve now because it's really it feels like it's ready to fall apart. There's a bit of ring wear on it. The edge wear, you can't read what's on there, but try and find a OG of this in fantastic condition for a price you don't have to remortgage your house on. The vinyl itself is a little scratched up. In fact, they keep a stiffener in here because the cover is so flimsy. And I'm going to put that back in after so I don't damage it any further. But yes, I would love to get a better copy of Violence. I'm just happy to have that one in my collection. And the vinyl's certainly playable. It's VG maybe in the media quality, but it's the cover that really needs an upgrade. Okay, where are we? We're at 20 minutes, and the 20th question is coming up. So, question 20, last one. Because of cost or availability, what album have you yet to pick up? So just to jump the show, it's not this, but it is Savatage. So Hall of the Mountain King is an album that I have passed up on a couple of occasions to my very much to my regret. I believe a reissue has come out. I don't know whether it's come out or it's on pre-order, but even the price of that made me kind of question whether I wanted it. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was released. The reissue is coming with a 7-inch single as well, and I don't need that. I just need the album. So hopefully, sometimes within a few months of new issues or reissues coming out, if they've not all been snapped up, you can get them a little cheaper. It's an album I'd love to have in my collection, but it's not one I'm kind of prepared to pay the going rate on. So that's why it might be one that it takes me some time to get hold of. But who knows, maybe even the OGs will come down in price once those reissues are in circulation. But Savatage, Hall of the Mountain King is something that I haven't got in my collection yet because of cost or availability. So that's it. That's my Metal Tag 2020. Questions provided by the Rock Scout. I will leave a link below to his channel so you can get the questions yourself. I hope you enjoyed my answer to the questions, and I will look forward to seeing other contributions to this thread as well. I found new channels and also new music through these in the past, so very much enjoy doing them, and I wanted to jump on this as quick as I could. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic new year, and don't be surprised to see a few more videos from me in the next couple of days. I have a few more days off on holiday, and I've got a couple more videos I want to get out of the way. So I will see you in those. Thanks for watching. See you soon.